Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. So glad that you would join me today to talk a little bit more about the murder of little Maddie Soto. Grateful that you guys are here to talk about this. Of course, just as a very brief primer on this, Maddie was living in a condo in the Kissimmee, Florida area with her mother, Jennifer Soto, age 35. Also in the house was 37-year-old Stephen Stearns, who was Jenn's boyfriend. On again, off again, sorta, kinda. Sometimes. It was weird. But he has been charged with 60 counts of horrible crimes against Madeline, who was 13 when she was last seen on February 25th, 2024. She technically went missing on the 26th. That's when there was the whole missing persons thing, right? But what we're going to do today is we're going to dig into a couple documents that I have not dug into yet here on the channel. So, but before I do, let me bring you over to my website. Let's see, right over here. I know you guys can't see this, but let me drag this little thing out of the way. It's on my side. It's annoying. Okay, I want to show you something here, okay? This is the website, gavinfish.com. There's a link to it down below that'll go right to this page. It's Madeline's case page. You'll see all of the YouTube videos I've done. You'll see the audio recordings that I've made available to my patrons. I have added and organized so many docs today. I think I added about 36 more docs today to this case page that are available to my patrons. Of course, I go over docs here on the YouTube channel as well. You don't have to support me on Patreon to see the contents of the docs. And then I have also added I've organized them all, a whole bunch of photos, including crime scene photos, some, photos of Mr. Stearns. Look how many of this. Madeline's backpack. We showed these a couple of days ago. The dumpster search, the search of his car, the search of Jenn's car. It's just, there's everything here, guys. It's all here. I shouldn't say everything. There are a couple things that are missing that I haven't quite got organized yet, but I'll keep adding. Okay. There's tons on the website. All the images, you guys don't have to be patrons to see them. Go on over there and check them out. Okay. And then the last thing before we get into these docs, just remember that if you would like me to see your comment, just put GF in that comment. That helps me filter through things to make sure that I get the stuff that that you want me to see. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Well, okay. I'll get to your comments in just a second. All right. Join me over here on Acrobat. Okay. This report was released a couple days ago, about a week ago, probably something like that. And this is from the Kissimmee Police Department. And in this one, there's not much as far as narrative here. I mean, we all know what the narrative is, but they have added asphyxiation to this crime. So we now, whereas before we had looked at a document that made it seem like, and I have a little bit more of that document today, made it seem like, well, it's been expanded, made it seem like that, hey, maybe they're leaning towards strangulation. There's no question now the way Maddie died. Okay, so this is what I want to show you on this report. This is a report from March 1st from the Kissimmee Police Department. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is this supplemental report by investigator Morris. This was updated. So this was updated in May 8th. A lot of the narrative is stuff that we've already read. So I'm not going to go through 24 pages of narrative. I just want to go through a couple of things which I have highlighted, okay, that I didn't know before. So let's just scroll on down until we get to a point where I have highlighted. Where are we at? Okay. All right. First off, this one is new to me. Maybe you guys already knew this. I have redacted the names of these black boxes are my redactions. I just don't feel like we need to share Jennifer Soto's roommates' names. But anyway, so on February 29th at approximately 7:33 p.m., Sergeant Brewer and myself contacted the roommate who is one of Jennifer's roommates. She was placed under oath and provided the following statement. Jennifer stated she arrived home at approximately 11:30 p.m. on the 25th. I asked if she saw Madeline or Jennifer when she got home that day. She stated she did not see either of them and said when Jennifer takes her sleeping medication, she falls into a deep sleep. Not Jennifer, the roommate then stated she did hear noises coming from the bedroom next to her, which would be Stefan's bedroom, where he and Madeline slept. Jennifer told her roommate that her and Stefan has not had, I think that's supposed to say that Jennifer told the roommate that Jennifer and Stefan have not had a sexual relationship within the past 6 months. The roommate stated that on the 26th, she woke up between 9:30 a.m. and she went downstairs to make breakfast around 10:30 a.m. She stated she saw Stefan in the residence at that time. She said Stefan was acting odd and going upstairs and downstairs and in and out of the apartment that morning. Stefan was also washing clothes, which she had never seen him do. When she left for work at approximately 3:40 p.m., Stefan was there. She got home from work at approximately 11 p.m., and that is when Jennifer told her that Madeline was missing. The roommate said Jennifer was crying and very emotional, which is actually encouraging to me because I just haven't bought it most of this time. She described Stefan's emotions as calm and not how someone would act if their child was missing. Later during the interview, I showed a photograph that was located in Stefan's phone of a nude female in the bathroom. The roommate identified the person in the photograph as her, which she did not give him permission to take those photos. So it appears that while Stefan has some creepiness, and creepiness is the understatement of the day, of the century, he is an abuser of children. It's beyond creepy, right? But he also apparently is a peeping Tom and is taking pictures of the female roommates while they're in the shower. This guy is sick. Okay. On March 1st, 2024, at approximately 11:57 a.m., Detective Smallwood and I contacted Jennifer at her residence for a follow-up interview. I advised Jennifer that we would be taking her to the Orange County Sheriff's Office to retrieve her vehicle. By the way, one of the things that was interesting, I thought, in the photos here, if we go all the way down to the Nissan. So these are photos of the inspection of the Nissan. As we get, I think it's farther down. Yeah. So like as we get into these photos, this is all fingerprint dust. They're taking fingerprints in this car. And I think that what they're trying to do is probably establish that Stefan was in the car that day. Yeah, these are... I actually kind of wonder what all those smudges are. Man, that'd be an interesting, what would we call that, experiment to do on our own cars. What kind of stuff would show up on our own cars? I don't even know if that is normal there or not. But anyway, getting back over here, they were going to take her to the Orange County Sheriff's Office to retrieve her vehicle. I advised Jennifer that I would be taking over the investigation. Again, this is Investigator Morris, and there would be a press conference this day to announce it. Jennifer asked, when I said we, did we mean homicide? I told Jennifer I meant we as the Kissimmee Police Department, but yes, we will be working it as a homicide because we had a strong belief that Madeline was deceased. Jennifer became silent for a few moments and started to cry. Again, I think she has been weird on this, and I think that she was pimping out her daughter to her boyfriend. I really do. But it is, I guess, encouraging to me that at least she had those motherly instincts, that she did not want her child to die at the very least. And I'd love to hear your comments on that, guys. But anyway, she became silent a few moments, began to cry. Jennifer said she had been avoiding the internet because of the things being said or leaked to the media, and it was traumatizing for her. I asked Jennifer where all she has physically looked for Madeline since she has gone missing. Jennifer said she has not looked anywhere for Madeline because she wanted to be home in case she came back home. I might have to take back everything that I just said. No, go look for your daughter. Crying out loud. Okay, Jennifer said she has since been staying at her sister's house because she didn't want to be seen in public. So, okay, once you were out of the home, then you have no reason to stay at home, or that reason that you're giving to stay at home is no longer useful. It's no longer valid. Go out and look for your daughter. I think it's because she was suspicious that her daughter was dead too. So she's staying at her sister's house because she doesn't want to be seen in public. I asked Jennifer if Madeline had any siblings, and she said she was married to Stephen Young, and he had a daughter that was raised alongside Madeline. That would be the only person who would be considered a sibling. Jennifer said Stefan has been around Stephen and his daughter. Dang it, I didn't redact that, guys. Sorry about that. Jennifer said Stephen lives in Williamsburg, which is by SeaWorld. I think we kind of went over this. No. This is important. I asked Jennifer and her Stefan was in contact with Stephen, and she said yes by text messages and phone calls. I asked Jennifer if I could see those messages, and she handed me her phone and said yes. I asked Jennifer how Stephen found out about Madeline, and she said she told him. Stephen was in shock when he heard the news. Jennifer said she had to go out and purchase some small items, and she felt like she shouldn't be outside because of the attention this case has received. Jennifer said she didn't want to end up hospitalized for her mental health. Detective Smallwood asked Jennifer what medication she used to help her sleep. Jennifer said it was called Geodon, but the bottle says Ziprasidone. I'm butchering this, guys. Sorry about that. Jennifer said she has to take it with food, and within 30 minutes to an hour, she is asleep. Jennifer said Madeline would take hydroxyzine for her anxiety and also to help her sleep. Jennifer was asked if Stefan has attempted to reach out to her since he was arrested, and she became upset and said no, and it would be stupid if he did. What's going on with my camera here? Hang on a second, guys. There's something weird going on with my camera. Let me reset this. Yeah, did that reset? Okay, sorry about that. All right. Jennifer stated we asked her about Stefan's sexual kinks, and she said she remembered last night that he had an anal sex kink. Jennifer said she always refused when Stefan would want to do that with her. Jennifer also remembered that Stefan would be easily angered and was very irritable and negative about things. Jennifer said Stefan would only get angry at Madeline over normal parenting things, or if Madeline didn't want to do what was asked of her. Jennifer stated if she had given Stefan the benefit of the doubt about when he told her he dropped her off at school. Jennifer said Stefan is a master liar and a master manipulator, and she had recently had this conversation with Chris, Stefan's father. Jennifer assumed law enforcement was looking into Stefan because he was the last person to see Madeline, and she wanted to believe he had nothing to do with her going missing. That's interesting that he never called her. Once in jail, he never called her. I wonder why she thought it would be stupid if he did. I have thoughts about that. But anyway, okay. Jennifer assumed law enforcement was looking blah, blah, blah. Okay. Jennifer said once we showed her the photographs of Madeline, that is when she realized, I think of Madeline being abused, right? That is when she realized Stefan was guilty. I asked her what she thought Stefan was and then redacted. That, by the way, apparently there is an article from around Osceola with an update, and this author says, let's see, I asked her what Stefan was guilty of, and she replied, he's been grooming and abusing my child. I asked Jennifer if she thought Stefan killed Madeline, and she said, at this point, I do. I asked her why she thought that, and she said, we showed her a photograph of Madeline slumped over in Stefan's vehicle. Jennifer said she felt like Stefan dumped her body somewhere, but she didn't know where. Now, I kind of feel like this is probably the same report. It's just redacted out. Anyway, and that is when she realized Stefan was guilty. I asked her what she thought Stefan was, blah, 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 with Madeline probably. I asked Jennifer if she thought Stefan killed Madeline, and she said, at this point, I do. I asked her why she thought that, and she said we showed her a photograph of Madeline slumped over in Stefan's vehicle. Jennifer said she felt like Stefan dumped her body somewhere but didn't know where. I pressured Jennifer on where she thought Stefan would have dumped Madeline's body, and she kept saying she didn't know. Jennifer became upset and said she would tell us if she knew because she wanted her child back. We arrived at the Orange County Sheriff's Office, where Jennifer is taken inside to be interviewed by Detective O'Malley and Detective Smallwood further. Okay, now I'm going to skip down. I think we learned a little bit here is that Jennifer finally came to the realization that that Stefan was, she calls it grooming. This is not grooming. This is abuse of the worst kind. Do you guys know who there's a sheriff down there in Florida that's he's kind of flamboyant about things. He's really good at getting in front of the media. I saw him on a podcast this week. I can't remember his name. Is his name Sheriff Grady? I can't remember his name, but he talked about this experience of actually watching somebody who he investigated who was convicted of murder, who was eventually put to death in the state of Florida. And anyway, as part of that, he talked about how he thought that penalty should be also applied to people like Stefan Stearns without the whole murder thing, right? The stuff he did before the murder thing. And I had to think about that because there is the reason that DP is kind of a thing. And I am somebody who thinks that DP should exist. And I know that like in the civilized world, there are only a couple of countries that still have DP, but I personally believe that it has to be there. But his argument was, this is something that you just cannot make restitution for. And it's worse for that victim than if you were to kill them. And I've been thinking about that ever since I listened to that podcast. Okay. And in the state of Florida, by the way, they have passed a law legalizing DP for these kinds of offenses, but it's likely to be struck down by the Supreme Court. I think it's probably going to be struck down. Okay. Going down to the next place. Okay. March 2nd. This is something that we read in my last video or a couple of videos ago, but I'm gonna read it again because we're gonna add to it. Okay, March 2nd, approximately 10 a.m. Detective Smallwood and I, again, this is MJ Morris. I think it's Detective Morris. Responded to the ME's office for Madeline's autopsy. The autopsy was performed by Dr. Stephen Giles. Prior to the autopsy, I examined Madeline's body. When it was initially uncovered, I noticed her socks were clean on the bottom, which confirmed my observations when she was located in St. Cloud. During the autopsy, Dr. Giles expressed concern over the hyoid bone in Madeline's neck. And we talked about that in that video where we talk about the autopsy. I showed a radiograph of Amanda Winkowski's hyoid bone. So Dr. Giles stated the right portion of the bone was not intact, which could possibly be related to her being strangled. Dr. Giles listed the initial outcome of the autopsy as pending. And then we're going to scooch down here, and you guys can see this whole document on the website. Scoochy. I don't want to miss it. Here we go. Couple things. So this happened. I have to go back up. So, okay, on March 7th, they do a follow-up interview and so forth. So this is okay. Upon reviewing Jennifer's cell phone download, I observed the following. Jennifer would set an alarm at 7:30 a.m. on days that she would bring Madeline to school. There were messages between Jennifer and Stefan on 225 starting at 11:39 p.m. that stated the following. Jennifer texts Stefan, make sure she goes to bed right now. Stefan replies, okay, sweetie, good night. Jennifer, this all happened, boom, 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 right? Good night. And then a minute later, Stefan says, she's built her nest and she's settling in now. Jen says, okay, good. These messages confirm what Jennifer stated during interviews, that Stefan and Madeline were alone in his bedroom prior to her death the following morning. So they believe that her death happened in the morning. But, I mean, that was 11:40, so any time in the next 20 minutes is the following morning, right? Okay. At 2:25, Jennifer set her cellular phone on a wireless charger at 11:54 p.m. On 2:26, Jennifer set an alarm to go off at 9 a.m. The alarm was removed from the notifications while still on the wireless charger. On 2:26 and 9:19, Jennifer's cell phone was physically removed from the wireless charger. This is consistent with her daily activities with removing the alarm notifications or snoozing the alarm. There were several other messages between her and Stefan regarding Madeline sleeping in the same room together. There was also text messages between Stefan and Jennifer claiming Stefan gave Madeline an extra dose of her medication when it was not necessary. Remember, that medication was hydroxyzine, which helped her to sleep. So it looks like they were already arguing about that. It makes me wonder if they don't tell us what exactly those messages were, but maybe Stefan was telling Jennifer, we didn't go to McDonald's because she was asleep. She wanted to sleep, or something like that. Maybe that was the context. But I thought that was important. Now we go through all the other abuses, which we have gone through before. Okay. March 28th, the Honorable Judge J. Bigney signed a search warrant for Madeline's medical records. The warrant was executed at this doctor's office, OPA Behavioral Health. I was provided her medical records upon execution of the warrant. Upon reviewing Madeline's medical records, it appears that she was diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety disorder. These records were submitted into evidence at the PD. The judge also signed a search warrant for the Fitbit device that Stefan was wearing during the time he was with Madeline. On 2/26, this warrant was sent to Google, who provides the records for Fitbit. So guys, all that stuff, if he was wearing his Fitbit, oh my goodness, if he was wearing his Fitbit, this will come into play in court for sure. What was his metabolism doing? What was his heart rate doing? During what times? I mean, they might even be able to pinpoint the sexual activity that likely occurred in the late hours or of the 25th or early morning hours of the 26th. They would probably be able to pinpoint when he carried her to his car, when he took her out of the car. He had to dump her over a barbed wire fence or a gate and drag her into the woods. That would all be recorded. So if he was wearing his Fitbit while he was doing that stuff, honestly, this guy, complete and total idiot. And I'm glad he's an idiot. Just wow. Okay. On the 29th, I received the case synopsis from the medical examiner's office. Dr. Giles ruled the case as death, the cause of death as strangulation and the manner of death as homicide. I think he got that backwards. No, he didn't. Okay, so the cause and manner. So it is for sure homicide by strangulation. Okay, on 4/10 at 2:53 p.m., Stefan, guys, this is crazy, calls Chris Stearns, his father, using his inmate identification. 12 minutes and 57 seconds, into the call, Stefan tells Chris, quote, "You know that I would have never wanted that for her," meaning Madeline. Stefan then says, quote, "I am not sure really that any one person is specifically responsible. It's probably a combination of factors that led to it." Oh my goodness. Quote, "I've never felt anything like that before. It was horrible." This is consciousness of guilt, folks. This is consciousness of guilt. Chris tells Stefan that he hopes the truth will come out, and Stefan responds, "Well, yeah," as if he was dodging that statement. Call was downloaded and submitted into evidence.com. Guys, I was reporting on a case, on a trial here in Western PA. I was sitting in the courtroom during the whole trial, during the jury selection, during sentencing, during the whole thing. I did the whole thing. But one of the things that happened, pieces of evidence that was brought in and showed the jury, was code that the defendant used while in the Hooskow. He's locked up in the county jail, and he was using what he thought was like an amazing cipher to communicate to another person that he would give that person his house if he would kill this other witness. And I sat there and I was like, did he actually believe that we didn't understand what he meant by this? Like, we all get it. Reading this, dude, Stefan, like, come on, man. You can't speak like this and not think that we won't know what you're talking about. And like, it's all recorded, man. This guy is grade A, top of his class, idiot. Okay. April 18th. At approximately 8:30 a.m., Jennifer and her attorney, Matthews Bark, arrived at the KPD based on an investigative subpoena that was issued by the state attorney's office. Due to technical issues with state attorney Will J's computer, the interview was moved to the state attorney's office at the Osceola County Courthouse. The interview was led by state attorney Will J. Will placed Jennifer under oath. I honestly think that they're trying to get her here. Okay. Of course, she's finally gotten wise and has an attorney. Okay, so she's under oath, who swore to tell the truth during the interview. Will asked Jennifer if she was working the night of February 25th at Disney, and she said yes, and she got home approximately 11:30 p.m. Jennifer stated when she got home, Stefan and Madeline were the only people downstairs. Jennifer could not remember what either Stefan or Madeline were wearing when she got home from work. Will asked Jennifer if she remembers if Madeline was wearing a green sweatshirt when she got home from work, and she stated no, she was not wearing that. Jennifer stated that Madeline would have been wearing whatever clothes she would be sleeping in. Jennifer could not remember what time Stefan got to the residence. Jennifer stated she was in her bedroom with Stefan and Madeline approximately 30 minutes before she sent them upstairs to go to bed. And this would be corroborated by those text messages, right? I don't know. Well, not really, because that was 9 minutes later. It's close. I think it's probably close enough. Will asked Jennifer why Stefan wasn't invited to, where are we? Oh, the party. I think it's a birthday party. And she stated because her mother doesn't get along with Stefan. Jennifer stated she instructed Madeline to take her nighttime medication when she got home, which Jennifer states she allows Madeline to do time to time. Jennifer stated Madeline takes hydroxyzine and Miralax. Hydroxyzine causes constipation, so that's what the Miralax is for. Jennifer stated since Madeline has been staying with her mother, she hasn't been taking the Miralax consistently. Will asked Jennifer if Madeline normally sets out her clothes the night before and if she makes the decision in the morning. Jennifer stated the decision is typically made in the morning. She said that she knew what she was wearing because they laid him out the night before. Jennifer stated the decision is typically made in the morning. Jennifer stated since she knew Stefan was going to be taking Madeline to school, she asked her to set out clothes to have everything ready to go. Okay. Jennifer did not know if Madeline took clothes with her upstairs to Stefan's bedroom. Jennifer states she does not have any further communication with Stefan or Madeline after the last text from Stefan stating Madeline has built her nest. The next time Jennifer sees Stefan is when he is trying to put the leash on their dog in the morning time of February 26th. Jennifer states she does not use her phone or gets up during the night because she was sleeping the entire night. Jennifer confirmed that she only got up out of bed when Stefan was trying to put the leash on the dog, but Stefan told her to go back to bed. So she laid back down and went to sleep. Jennifer said she heard someone in the kitchen but did not know who it was. Will asked Jennifer if Madeline would have come into her room to tell her goodbye when she left for school. Jennifer stated she would have hoped she would have. Jennifer said she is awakened by her alarm clock that was set for 9 a.m. Jennifer stated she didn't remember if she saw anyone that morning, but she thinks she may have seen one of her roommates. Jennifer stated she didn't receive any communication from Madeline the morning of February 26th. Jennifer stated the first time she communicated with Stefan was approximately 10 a.m. when he told her that he left his phone at the house. Because of course he did. Stefan told Jennifer that Madeline had a good morning and that he was going to take her to McDonald's, but she changed her mind and all she wanted to do was sleep in the car. Jennifer was asked to confirm if she went anywhere else when she left to go to her doctor's appointment. She said no. Jennifer said she was supposed to have another appointment later that day, but canceled it due to the cost of the appointment. Jennifer said when she got home, Stefan was at the residence. She said Stefan was wearing a red shirt with some sort of graphic on it. So not the blue shirt that we see him. We had asked ourselves that a little bit. Let me go up. I'm gonna take you over to my website here real quick. Yeah, so like this photo, he's in a blue shirt, and in the recording that we listened to last time, remember they said, "Is this blue shirt the shirt that you were wearing?" They start looking at it and so forth. So according to Jennifer's testimony, he was wearing a different shirt. It was red. Let's see. Where was that we were at? A red shirt with some sort of graphic on it. Jennifer said Stefan was acting normal. He told her after he dropped Madeline off at school, he went to the vape store and they were not open. He said he waited for a while, then left and drove around before going back to the residence. Stefan then told Jennifer that he was going to run a few more errands somewhere on Highway 192, and she asked him if he was going to be back in time to get Madeline from school. Maybe because she had that other appointment, I guess. I don't know. Stefan told her that he would be back by 2:30. While they were speaking in Jennifer's bedroom, that is when Stefan told Jennifer that he, accidentally did a factory reset on his phone. Stefan then leaves the residence and Jennifer stays home. Jennifer then starts to call and text Stefan to see if he was going to be home soon to go get Madeline from school, but he doesn't respond. Shortly after Jennifer leaves to go get Madeline, Stefan calls Jennifer and tells him that he, accidentally left his phone at home again. Jennifer said at some point during the morning she was putting stuff away and noticed Madeline's phone on her dresser. So she picked it up and brought it with her to the school. Will asked Jennifer why she asked Stefan to help her with Madeline while she was training at work. Jennifer said if Madeline stays with her mother, she doesn't get to see her much. So if Stefan watched Madeline, she would be able to see her more at home. Jennifer was asked if she knew the plans about getting McDonald's in the morning of 2/26. Jennifer said they talked about it the night before, but they didn't talk about when they would leave the residence. Will asked Jennifer if Madeline had... My goodness, I'm ahead of myself. Sorry, guys. Will asked Jennifer if Madeline ever had side effects of hydroxyzine, and she said if Madeline took the medication later than normal, she would feel sluggish. Will then asked Jennifer why she let Stefan stay in the home after they ended their relationship. Jennifer stated she considered Stefan as one of her best friends. Jennifer said she didn't want to see him revert back to his mental health issues like he was previously. Will then asked Jennifer about Madeline's sleeping habits. Jennifer stated Madeline would sleep with her a majority of the time, and when Stefan began staying there, the three of them would sleep in the same bed. Jennifer stated Madeline never wanted to sleep alone in her bedroom. Jennifer couldn't remember how many times she let Madeline sleep with Stefan alone in his bedroom. Jennifer stated she allowed it because she trusted Stefan, and he treated her like his daughter. When Jennifer stated she and Stefan ended their relationship, Madeline had an idea but never spoke about it. I guess that Madeline had an idea that the relationship had ended. Yeah, he had moved into another room, I guess. Jennifer said she spoke with Stefan about possibly moving back to help him get on his feet, but she didn't know if he was going to be permanent or temporary. Will asked Jennifer if she knew that Madeline had been offended, let's just say, by Stefan prior to the interview at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. She said no. Will stated Jennifer texted Madeline's father about not wanting her to be filmed underneath bathroom doors. Jennifer stated she had just heard a story. Oh my goodness. Madeline was being filmed under bathroom doors. Jennifer stated she had just heard a story about someone filming in bathrooms on an airplane. Jennifer was asked why Stefan didn't take her car to take Madeline to school, and she said Stefan was not on her insurance, so she didn't want to take that risk. Will asked Jennifer again if she ever had seen Madeline the morning of the 26th, and she said no. Jennifer also stated that she didn't know about how she died. I asked Jennifer how many times Stefan came to Kissimmee after he moved out, and she said 2 to 3 times. Jennifer also stated bedroom 4 was empty, but there were white colored sheets that was on his bed, but she didn't know if Stefan used any other blankets. That's a weird detail. By the way, again, you guys should go to the website because there are a whole bunch of photos of the condo, and they do, I think in room number 4, do a close-up of the sheets. Maybe this is actually Madeline's room. Yeah, there's a close-up of these sheets here. I'm actually trying to work with somebody now to organize these into actual rooms so that we can know where all the pictures are taken. But it appears that there is a little staining on this bed. I don't know if it was Stefan's bed or somebody else's. Okay, let's go back over to here. All right. Scrolling down, that's the end of what I had prepared to share with you guys today. Let us take a look. We're gonna close that. Let's go over to Maddie's beautiful little face. Let's see. Pineapple. Gavin, regarding the asphyxiation, could it be that Stefan convinced her to experiment with auto asphyxiation, or were her injuries too severe for that to happen? I don't know. Breaking a hyoid bone, guys, takes some pressure. I mean, it's not as much as you think, and I unfortunately know this because of the Amanda Winkowski case. It's not tons of pressure, but it's pressure, and I kind of feel like with a broken hyoid bone, then that was a strong throttling, I think, and it was probably manual, and I think it was probably due to some kind of scuffle or fight. But it's just a theory. I mean, I know nothing. Is it possible that it was auto asphyxiation? I just watched a video on David Carradine, right? That's how he died. I don't know. Is it possible? Maybe. But I feel like I don't think that was his deal. Like, I think that the police would have asked Jennifer about that. I know that she talked about his sexual kink and not wanting to do that kink. I think that she would bring up asphyxiation. I don't know. Wanderlusting. Gavin, not a question, but this case makes me nauseous. It's really so sad and tragic. Jen should really be charged with something. Love the channel. Thank you for your great work and dedication. Well, thank you very much. I feel the same. Like, how could you let your daughter sleep in the bed of a man? How do you do that? That is pretty bad. Patty, thank you, Gavin, for making the docs available and making this kind of chat. Happy to do it. Mimi. Let's see what you have to say. Mimi, aka Dog Service. Gavin, I was a crime scene tech for 20 years. That is an unusual place for fingerprints. Thank you, Mimi. Listen, Mimi, will you reach out to me on my website? Let me bring you over here real quick. So Mimi is talking about the Nissan. So Mimi's a crime scene tech, and Mimi is saying that this is unusual. This stuff, right, on the door. So Mimi, if you go to my website at the top, there is a little contact page. I'm just going to open it in a different tab. Will you reach out to me and give me a way that I can talk to you? Like, it can be completely off the record. But I would love to just pick your brain about what it is that you have done for a living. I would love to talk about that. For a lot of cases, not just Madeline's case, but a lot of cases that I'm covering and that I care about. I would just love it if you would reach out. So just go to gavinfish.com and fill out this form, and I'll reach out. Text, call, however you prefer. Okay. Let's touch base. I would love to do that. Okay. And with that, I will stop gushing. Okay. Gavin, why say pimping out? She wasn't a prostitute. For the love of Pete, please don't say that. Well, first of all, call me Jen. I do love Pete. Yeah, I don't mean to imply that, because I know Madeline wasn't a prostitute. I know that for sure. I get it. But what is the other way that you say that? Like, how do you say that? Like, serving her up? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know how to say that. But it should be taken serious. It should be taken seriously what Jennifer Soto was doing. Whether she knew it or not, there should be a charge there, I think. I don't think that you need to know something is wrong. If you are doing something wrong, you should pay the penalty for it. And so I don't know what else to call it, Jen. But I appreciate you wanting to checking me on sensitivity. I appreciate that. Don L. Gavin, were they motherly instincts or was it because she was worried that she would be arrested? Oh, maybe not motherly instincts, maybe self-preservation instincts that she cried when they told her that they believed that she was deceased. Barb says pimping is the right thing to say. I don't know how else to say it. I don't. But I do want to be like, I don't want to be crass about things. I don't want to be rough around the edges, too gritty on this stuff. I want to be sensitive to this because this, for obvious reasons, but like, this is a little girl that none of us knew personally. Most of us did not know personally, but we care about her. Otherwise, why would we do this? You know, why would we create this content, watch this content and so forth? We care about her. I don't want you guys to think that I'm being insensitive, but I just don't know how else to say that. Nicole says the tears were out of guilt. Yeah, could be. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe she's not feeling the motherly instinct. She's just going, "Oh crap, I let this happen, and now what's going to happen to me?" Maybe it's a combination of those things. Ballroom gunfight. Gavin, if you had to say yes or no, would you say charges will be brought against Jennifer? Okay, if I had to say yes or no, by the way, I hate yes or no questions. If I were to ever testify before Congress, I would stipulate that I will not answer yes or no questions. But because you asked so nicely, and this is just a hypothetical, I would say yes. I think that the prosecutors, like, you know how you should never talk to police? Like, you should never talk to police. Police aren't bad people. In fact, I love them. They're doing like God's work in this case, right? And in many cases, I'm grateful for them. But it is their job. It is their job to charge people. They want to charge people. And the same thing about prosecutors. They want to charge people. I won't say where or what the case was, but I talked with a source in the know in a case that was a murder case who, I don't think I should share this. Let me just say, prosecutors want to charge people. So yeah, if I had to say yes or no, I'd say yes. There are going to be charges. McRambleon, it's good to see you, McRambleon. Gavin, she's behaving, talking exactly like someone who's been targeted, groomed by a predator. Oh, like, okay. Like Jennifer has been groomed. Okay. She and Maddie make for perfect victims. Duck, Duck, Groom by Sonata is a great resource book about preventing CSA. Duck, Duck, Groom. Thank you for that. Let me jot this down here real quick. Wow. That Duck, Duck, Groom. Thank you. McRambleon, I appreciate that. Thank you. L. Shirley. Gavin, combine the fact that Stephen Stearns said Maddie hadn't had her Miralax for a few days and his kink, it's very disturbing. And that thought had occurred to me as well, Shirley. It's tough to think about. Judith Sturgis. The only time she was asleep was when she was doubled up on the meds. She knew what was going on. She too is a monster, liar, and manipulator. Oh, so like maybe Jenn wanted to, like, knew what was going to go on, wanted to sleep through it. Is that what you're saying? I take your comment. Nicole, I would be surprised if Madeline didn't tell at least someone about being abused. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. It's such a hard conversation to have. Such a hard conversation. Gavin, it's Sheriff Grady. That is who that is. He's a character, but I don't disagree with him in a lot of ways. Kathy says, thank you for keeping us updated on this heartbreaking case. Grady Judd. Okay, that's who it is. Thank you. Sid Vicious 97. Gavin, yeah, I still choose the bear. Well, yeah. Autumn, Gavin, that Fitbit is holding a big key. Yeah, I hope he was wearing it. I hope he was wearing it. Gavin, why does the Supreme Court vote not to do DP in cases like this? Sorry, guys, my phone is going off like crazy here. Let me. It appears that my daughter has brought home another creature, which is something that she is wanting to do. So DP is something that is highly controversial in the United States, as you guys know. There are people typically who lean right, center right to all the way right, that believe that DP is something that should happen. And then, and I'm in that camp. And then there are people, I think mostly, maybe I'm not being fair to characterize this, center left to all the way crazy left, right? We got crazy right, we got crazy left, everybody in between. But on the left, it is the death penalty is cruel and unusual punishment. And unfortunately for that side of the aisle, the Supreme Court has, there are reams of case law over why that is not the fact. However, when Florida passed this law, it was immediately challenged by somebody with standing. It has gone up the chain. I think I don't think it's a U.S. Supreme Court that is going to strike it down. I think it's the state Supreme Court that'll strike it down. But eventually, if there's a federal standing, it will make it to the feds for sure. But that's the reason why. And that's the system that we have, and it's appropriate that happens. Let's see, Gavin, I wish we had Gavin in Australia. We have several unsolved cases in Queensland that have been swept under the carpet because of police and military corruption. There are a couple cases that I've looked at in Australia. The problem with Australia, for a person like me, is that it's very difficult to get your hands on any case documents in Australia. It's just so difficult. The public records laws are not as strong there as they are here in the States, and especially in Florida. The reason that we're covering Maddie's case so well is because it happened in Florida, and Florida's public record laws are strong on the side of open records. But listen, it has been a long time since I have been down under. I would love to come do a live show down there. I would just need to be able to afford it. So hint, hint. If you guys would like a live show down under, I'd love to do it. And I've got friends, I've got Kiwi friends, and I've got lots of Pacific Islander friends that are down there in the Oceania area. It'd be fun to see. So Mia Spaghetti, maybe you could help that happen. Hint, 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 Mia Spaghetti. All right. Angelica says, Gavin, I love hearing your perspective. Jai on True Crime is always begging for super chats for engagement. It shows greed, and she's clearly just using Madeline's case for money. It's a shame. I actually, if Angelica, thank you, first of all, but if I can come to Jai's defense just a little bit, this is a time-consuming and energy-consuming job. I love it. But I understand why people ask for super chats. That's just a bridge too far for me. I think Jai is doing good work. But yeah, I think that could rub people the wrong way. And yeah, I take your comment. And thank you very much for the comment. I appreciate it. Oh, and by the way, just again to just come to the defense, I make money on this. I get super chats, I get advertising, I get my patrons back me. But in cases like this, everybody does. The lawyers, the judges, the police officers, the jailers, the bailiffs, everybody. Just because you're trying to make money doing something does not just necessarily automatically taint what it is that you're doing. Yeah, I just thought that I'd bring that up, I guess. I don't know. I think Jai is doing a pretty good job, but I take your comment for sure. Thank you. Let's see. Hydroxyzine is also used for allergies. He gave her something else. Ativan, maybe, Gavin? Yeah. I wonder what will come up in toxicology. I'm sure it's done by now. Or if it's, yeah, this happened in February. I'm sure it's done by now. I'm curious what comes up in toxicology and if it will leak out in reports like this. Janali 78, Gavin, parents, you need to educate your kids very young and age appropriate basic anatomy. So if someone touches your child, they know what and where it happens. Yeah. So I'm a believer, and I know that the way education happens changes over time, but I'm a big believer in a program called Good Touch, Bad Touch. My older sister, who has advanced degrees, she has a degree in early childhood education. She would volunteer in the school districts where she raised her children to teach this program, Good Touch, Bad Touch, which helps little ones understand that if somebody is touching you that way, there are trusted adults that you can go to, and it's a terrific program. And because she loves us, she did that for our children too. And so, yeah, parents, please, it's not an inoculation. It gives your children something that they can use to know when they are being abused, because little children don't understand when they are. So yeah, Good Touch, Bad Touch is my favorite, and I'm sure that there are others that are out there that are great. Baba Yaga, good to see you, Baba Yaga. Gavin, it makes me wonder what Jenn saw in Stefan. Putting the obvious aside, he is a man-child who couldn't hold a job and didn't contribute to the household. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Jenn's much of a catch either, but apparently they worked together and hit it off. Yeah, I don't know. Baba Yaga continues, in my opinion, Jenn's low self-esteem cost Maddie her life, assuming she had no knowledge of what happened. It's a good comment. Old River Diva. I don't know if you've commented before. I feel like you haven't. I haven't seen it anyway. That is a terrific handle. Okay, Gavin, Jennifer didn't attend her own daughter's 13th birthday party. I don't think she physically saw her daughter for that period of time after birthday party. Jennifer should be charged. Good. Holy cow, Molly. Gavin, it's my 3-year anniversary with you this month. It's been all wonderful and can't wait till you have 100,000 people. Love you. Molly, you've been around for most of this. Thank you so much. I was looking just today at the first video that I posted, a true crime video on YouTube, and that was April 12th of 2021. So you caught me pretty early, and I had been doing it before that for about a year with my friend and partner Rick Tracewell on Solve Crimes with Rick and Gavin. Solve Crimes. I'm getting delirious here, guys. So yeah, I mean, you've been here most of the time, and I'm glad you're here. And we're getting close. It's been fun to watch. We're like, what are we at? We're at, holy cow, 86,000 subscribers. That is pretty fun. And Molly, you have been really important to the growth of the channel with your comments and likes and shares. Thank you very much for that. Let's see. D's Creative Hands Crochet. Wait a minute. D's Creative Hands, and it's the Creative Hands Crochet. Gotcha. Did he use the dog leashes like a garrote or something? Ooh. So maybe not manual, maybe dog. Oh, wow. D. That's dark. And probably, I mean, it's possible. Good comment. Phoenix Rising, another one like Molly, who's been around a long time. Late OMG, what now with these psychos between these two and Matthew Farwell? I'm having anger issues this week, Phoenix. Pretty great. Oh, goodness, you guys, you've got so many great comments, but we've been going at it almost an hour. Before we go, I did see a few supers come in, so thank you very much. From a super sticker from Maggie M. Thank you very much, Maggie. Super sticker from Jessica, her Shiba dog. You know, I don't know if you can see. You see that pooch right there? He looks like he might be a German Shepherd, but I think he was mostly Sheba. And keep Maddie up there. So thank you for that super sticker. $5 super chat from Baba Yaga. Thank you very much. And another one from Baba Yaga, a sticker. And I'm going to be changing probably, guys, to a platform where I'll actually be able to see these stickers during the live stream. Thank you guys for those, for the super chat and super stickers. I love you guys very much. Thank you for doing that. Hey, remember that you can go over to the website and please go through everything here on the site. There's tons to go through. If you are a patron of mine, thank you for your patronage. And please check out all of the new files. You'll notice that I added, because I try to keep them chronological, I've added the date that I've uploaded. So the newest ones will say 8:30, and you'll see them scattered in there. There are about 36 of them, okay? And then please reach out to me using the contact. If you aren't already aware, I'm going to be at CrimeCon UK. Oh my goodness, in like 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Josie and I, our daughter, we're going to London for CrimeCon. If you have not bought your tickets yet and you're headed, please use code FISH. You can click this button to get your tickets. Also, last thing I want to invite you to is over to the fish tank. And I wanted to bring your attention to our moderator, Jamie, who has been MIA recently. Jamie has been struggling with a very specific malady that went undiagnosed for too long. She's been having a hard time. Everybody, please send positive vibes off to Jamie. And if you would, if it's your thing, you want to go onto Facebook, join the fish tank and send her your love, will you? Because she has been having a rough go of it. And Jamie is a trooper, somebody who does not go down for the count lightly. She does not have the figurative glass jaw. She is tough. And this one has been a hard fight. Okay, that guys, I hope you have a great weekend. I might come back tomorrow. There's something that I'm looking at. I might come back tomorrow, but honestly, I got to do yard work, man. So probably not. If I don't see you tomorrow, I would like you to have a happy Labor Day. Have some great time with your family. Enjoy yourselves. Hopefully you have a day off. I do, and I'm going to be spending it with the family. I'm stoked about it. All right. With that, guys, I bid you adieu. Thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.